Good morning. Hello. It's Wednesday. We know what day that is. Until today will be the last day. A secret. This is our last day for Remake Your Life. And here's why. Because we've went over a lot of lessons. And for those of you who began with it, I want you to think back to when I asked you to write yourself a letter of the things that you would like to change about yourself. So, I don't know if you can have your hands on it. I don't know if you can take a moment to remember, but let's look back for a moment. What's different about you and 10 lessons ago? Not that we can say it's 10 weeks because there's been a couple misses. And I want to say good morning to everybody. Well, whoever needs to is figuring that out. So I saw you here very early, Miss Carrie. How are you doing? And Rita, good morning. Barbara and Yvonne, good morning. And then there's a lot of hellos and missing you and Yvonne. And I keep going. Carol, good morning. Barbara Ward. Carol Cook, good morning. It's great to have you back. Barbara Silver, 1111, good morning. Yes, it's Wednesday. We're on the hump day, right? Barbara La Rosa, good morning. Constance L. Carmen, good morning, everybody. All right. So let's have a little bit of chat. I looked back at myself. As we were going through this, certainly I'm always passionate about growing, no matter how it looks, what it needs. And I could look just through the pictures of when we began to now and recognizing all the changes that have happened, I'm a totally different person. So I'm just curious and wondering how all of you who've been here with me going through this, how have you changed? Have you really thought about changing how your thoughts work, what you do with them, how you put them into action? Do you concentrate? Are you focused? Are you forgiving and finding a peaceful state? Have you worked on being into the silence? If not, I will remind you one more time today. But there's so many things that we took in detail and learned about how your inner consciousness, your subconscious, and your superconsciousness all work together and how it comes out as you. So, is anyone remembering that? Let me see if anyone's taking a moment here to write to me. Hello, 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 hello. Not yet. So, I would like to hear, because that was our goal, is to have a structure and how you could remake your life. We worked on the power of thought, I'll remind you, visualization, imagination. We talked about the power of words. Let's see. We talked about the 3 levels of the mind. And Barbara Ward's responding. She says, good morning, Barbie. She's absolutely much more peaceful. You find you're not as triggered by people as before. How wonderful is that? That's a life changer. And if you can keep that up and live, and it'll only get better as you move forward. Marby's saying good night, everyone. I don't know what that means. Okay, are you telling me I'm boring? I hope not. So, yes, we learned about how the 3 levels of the mind work. The consciousness is our action, and our eyes are open. The subconscious are what we've learned from the past and are staying in there, and sometimes we're reacting from an old experience ages ago or another lifetime, and we don't realize it. And that's where the healing lies, is being able to begin to take a moment, take a breath. One of your inner children's having a tantrum, and to choose not to let it do that by loving it, by giving it a transformative experience and a new thought of truth to live by. Okay? So, non-participation we talked about. So, what are you today? Are you participating in life? Or are you choosing to just let life take you? It's a big difference if you want to make a change in your life. And we've talked a lot about it. You must become a participant on all levels: mind, body, soul, and your spirit must all become engaged and choose to make different choices. Silver 11's taking notes again. Great. I would love, you should have your notes typed up. Let's see. It says I have new comments. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Marvy. Oh, I'm not boring. I'm wonderful. She was saying good morning to all of you. I'm more peaceful and heightened introspection about everything, more observant. That doesn't make me, but so happy to hear, because that is what awakening's about. And one of the cards I have to show you today is, guess what? Awakening. You see, that is all of you, hopefully today, that you have become more awakened consciously, in your subconscious, and in your superconsciousness, which is starting to have movement. How's that fact for you? Now, let me see. All right, this is my later discussion. All right, Rita, let me see here. I'm so much clearer, have more faith, and many tools to help me continue to move forward. My gratitude level has been deepened as well. I feel more joy. She gets the more awakened card, right? And awakening. It's only going to continue. You know, the path has always been in front of all of you. How you choose to step and walk on it is the choice. And that's why we're talking about reawaken, make new choices, understand it. And that's why I gave this class, because you have to understand what is your choice. You know, when you give the power away to the outer world, to the illusion, remember, there are two things. There's a reality and an illusion. When you make choices determined by whether people like you or not, or what you're going to get from people, or because they know better, you're doing the illusion thing. You have to understand that cathedral within you, that silence, is going to tell you and have you feel comfortable, allowing a greater joy if you work with your inner self. Does it take time? Yes, but there's no more time more precious, and the opportunity what it gives you for the future, or even in the moment now. We also learned you must live in this moment and have it be precious. If you think of it in any other way, oh, well, it'll be gone in a minute. No. What happens right now as we talk in this moment changes your life. What happens in our next breath, in that next moment, changes your life. There is no going backward for any of you, I hope, that you can only continue to turn forward towards the light and keep moving, whatever that may look like. And when it becomes too challenging and your heart in that place isn't speaking to you, then call someone. Call someone who is like a teacher to you, whether it's someone else or whether it's me. The important thing is that you move forward, that you find your way through the muck of the illusion from another time. All right. Anybody else have any comments? Did anyone have the remembrance of to write down who you were and what you wanted to change, and to see today if you have? So let's see. We talked about the three minds. Does anyone have questions about the three minds? Conscious mind is this moment. That's where you are at choice. You can perceive the subconscious but not choose to follow it. You can see that the subconscious is acting out and choose to go, no, I don't choose that right now. Behave yourself. But get back to it. Put a pink bubble around it and go back to it and heal it. So here's Yvonne. More awakened, clearer, more appreciation in my life have also released a lot. And I have done a lot of work with TheoSophia lately. Lots of movement and release and working with her. Thank you, Yvonne. But it means it's ready to go. It's ready to leave. It's sitting there waiting. So what does remaking your life mean? It means an exciting journey on your spiritual awareness and with your divinity and opening a whole new level of faith. One word we didn't talk about yet, it was on our spiritual development page for today. You know, faith shows up to help deepen you in the most oddest ways. And for any one of you, it's so different. It's when it kind of like a miracle happens. You know, I've had a few in my life, and I'm sure you could sit back and remember a few you've had in your life. And in that, take that breath and have it remind you that there's something greater than you that is alive within you. Mother and Father reside in your heart. I know it. I see them. I speak to them. They are there every minute of every existence. So say to me, go ahead, well, how are they everywhere? They are omnipresent. They're everywhere. And you have to trust that. I can't make you believe that. But life, if that's the journey you're on, is going to show it to you. When you need help, you know, some people they just can't ask for help. You know, whether it's that they don't believe or it takes too long or nothing's going to happen. But that's the only reason is because you haven't really made a relationship. You haven't reached out and you haven't spoken and asked for help humbly, giving it to God. I give a lot of things to God and they seem to turn around and show back up. And when things don't, there's lessons still to be learned. That's why we have lessons, you know. In Classroom 101 on Earth here, lessons are necessary because we would just keep living the life we're living. Try to tell me different and I'll listen. But I've worked with so many people over all these years to know they feel they have to figure it out. Now, just listen to those words. Figuring it out means the mind. The truth is, we have learned to go into the silence of the heart. So if we're sitting and figuring it out in the mind, how much figuring out's happening? Not a lot. It's like a circle. But when you go down into the cathedral, take your focus to your third eye, remember, and go into that cathedral that's yours and God's, and know they're there with you. You have no idea what thought, what impression might come to you from them, which will be a different way to handle it, a different way to observe it, to look at it. And you didn't have to go through all that energy of racking your brain, well, what do I do about this? The surrenderedness, deepen your root down into the earth is going to be the support for you. That is why I had trouble with the cathedral. God is everywhere. Yes, God is everywhere, but he has a residence in your heart, and that is his cathedral in your heart. So you can look at it both ways, but for me, it's powerful to have a place that is a part of me that's a part of them, knowing that every cell is so. So I understand what you're saying, but try to expand it into the more knowingness. Perhaps your heart is everywhere. Perhaps the cathedral is beyond and everywhere. It's all about perception. And that will be the last book I ever write, will be that it's all about perception. How we hold our energy, how we allow it to come into concentration and focus it in our world And where we place it is the utmost importance in what occurs in our life. Okay. So, my 2 cards for later, just fill in. I'm not going to do you yet. Just wait a minute. They're anxious to be a part of your journey. So, remake your life. How has anyone else shifted? Let's talk about it. This is why sometimes I like the Zoom evening on Monday better, because I get to share and to talk back and forth. But I'll do my best from my heart to work with this today. But before I walk away from this journey that we've had, that has been a number of weeks, I want to make sure that, yes, for sure, you could go back and still watch the videos. But today's the day you can talk with me about something maybe you didn't understand. For while I knew, hello GGB, I knew there were things on some level, parts of it you knew, I believe we took it to another depth of understanding of the inner workings of those parts of you. And I want you to all be able to, like Carmen, sit more peaceful and have a new introspection and an observation about things. You're welcome, Carmen. She's thankful for the opportunity to give it to God to remind everybody. I let him be my partner in my practice, in my daily life, in everything, in my relationships. How could it not be when it's so much a part of me? And that's a thought for you to have. What is God to you? And where are you with that? You know, it's all just so powerful. And how we use our words. Who's changed how they're talking? Even self-talk. My goodness. I hear so many people and I just like, do you hear that? And it immediately becomes something different if you really listen to it, what you're saying. It's the How to Remember week. How to remember who you are. How to remember what you thought, where you were. It's about relaxation. We learned about imagination and visualization. Have you been using that? Has it helped you? Have you created from that? Things you desire? And you have to always ask, because I'm hearing it. Well, yeah, but I didn't get it. Well, why not is your next question. And that's something you can then go into the silence, into the cathedral, and know the Mother Fathers are present with you, and you will get a response. Why didn't this come? What is my lesson? So there's a clarity here. So I know in the Ascension workout, I gave you something to start clearing. Is it clearing the chakras? Yes, but it's doing more than that. It's clearing your Sushumna, your channel. So the energy that comes from in and through the top of your head and up through the bottom of your energy has a clearer path, has a greater ability to touch and embrace all of who you are. It will engage your light quotient a whole lot more. And so then you're going to think, oh, I'm already there. No, it takes a while to then let whatever was stuck in those chakras to come out and become the lesson for you to choose not to participate in it. It's quite a circle, the whole process of healing and growing and spiritual development. But if you can really take your heart and contemplate it, it's beautiful and it's powerful. And once you stop empowering the ego to make it be a contest or a struggle, then it moves quite gently. Something occurs, you find yourself reacting, and then you don't have to live out that reacting. You can sit in the quiet or go to your mentor, whomever you work with, and work it out, and it's changed. There are 144,000 parts of you that you must do that action with. And wherever each of you are, it's just wherever each of you are. You are the same as humans, a spirit within a human, but very different how you all exist upon your path. So there is no comparison. Here is Carol Cook. I practice making a subconscious decision instead of a reactive subconscious reaction, and I made a change for the better in a relationship. That's very good. So I want you to think about it from a conscious decision. Remember, the subconscious is a gathering of old stuff, and those inner children there are holding on to whether it's anger or sadness or pain. So I want you to still make it from a conscious mind, but maybe heal. Maybe that's what you're saying. You healed the subconscious piece, which is very good, and made a change. That's how I'm going to interpret what you really did. And that works great. So you stopped the reaction. So you healed the subconscious and said, no, thank you. And in that, we embrace and love it so it can heighten the light quotient in your field, because that one piece of the 144,000 is freed. So thank you for sharing. That's great. That was last night. Well, wonderful. And you will all, I can guarantee it, have more of these happenings. It's the journey. Let's say if you did not, you would end up being old, feeble, not able to move, quickly, however you want to say it. These pieces have to be touched with the love of you and of God to set you free so that you can be older and be younger. The masters have always said, you're going to turn into 27 by the end of time. Well, we all have a little ways to go, or not, but it works. I know it works. And you need to choose to let it work for you. Heal where you are. Carol says, thank you. Many blessings. You know, spiritual path is a choice. There's those that think they're on the spiritual path, but yet have resistance to it. And yes, that's the right word. I've worked on it many times with people. And then all of a sudden, they get tired of it and finally fight it. It's an actual inner turmoil and make it through. I haven't known anyone to not make it through when they go to face that resistance that's inside. And I find that the biggest quandary is, well, who will I be? If I allow change and growth and spiritual development, who will I become? Isn't it interesting that in that moment we're afraid? Yeah, really. Because life only gets easier. There's more peace in your heart. There's more light to radiate. People are different to you. Things come differently. But there is that fear that the ego has taught you, no, I know better. Come back here. I'll always take care of you. And that's the non-truth that we must let go. You have the capacity far beyond that which your ego mind can tell you. So I'll remind you, pull the ego into your heart, call your higher self in. It will shut it down right inside the little room there. Give it a computer, let it have its first job is to research love, because it doesn't have a clue. The ego, we can't get rid of it, but we can transform it. So we're going to go through a process of teaching it just as you have learned. First, that there is such a thing as love, and that there's a feeling nature to it, and that it's uplifting, and it can be joyful, and it can be peaceful. The ego doesn't know these words. It's been so desperately grasping to survive in itself. That's why it thinks it has the ability to survive for you. So not only will you make a difference in you, but you're going to also change another part of you called the ego, and it'll become one of the light pieces of you. and you will walk in a peace where it doesn't interfere, because that's how I see it. Is it's a very huge interference in people's lives. Okay. If you have any comments about my little talk here, be willing to join me. I'm just kind of rambling on because I don't want this to be an ending, because this class, we're not going to do this class. We are going to do a different class. I'm not going away, sorry. Because you can still learn more and more. Just like with the clearing, people do it once. I got it. But they forget that life happens every day, and more is collected, more is hung on to. And so every month, at least every 2 months, you've got to go through and get that all cleared out. Sure, you can call Archangel Michael in and release your cords. I have a video on that. But that's not clearing out the inner gunk in your chakras. You'll get to where you can feel that go right through and pick stuff up and take it up and out, and the angels will take it. Yeah, it's one of the first. Any teacher I've had has brought that to me first. And I understood, instead of saying, oh, yeah, I've had that a long time ago. Immediately it tells me, not using it today, because it's a technique that lives forever. So, excellent information about the ego. Thank you. You're welcome, Carol. I have found my tribe to support my spiritual journey. Barbara, that's wonderful. You know, we all have different ways to say things. I don't call whatever it is a tribe, and we're just different. But I do know tribes mean a lot to people, and that's very good. Here's Barbara Ward. You are so right. Spiritual path is a choice. Living consciously helps me to course correct more quickly, but it takes using the tools we are being given. Thank you, TheoSophia. Well, you're very welcome. Very welcome. I can share them, but the choice is for all of you to choose to use them, because I know that they work. There's no doubt about it. But people will say, well, I have a great passion, and I do. I have a passion to understand consciousness, to what makes people tick. The first time I went, and some friend of mine was having candida issues, and she wanted me to help her heal it. And it was years and years ago. And I thought, I really don't know what to do. So we sit and we use the light, and it just wasn't going away. And this is when I asked for God and different modalities and different ways to heal from Mr. DK. Master DK came to me and showed me how to really release pattern through the subconscious, through the ways you hold the light and contemplate and use the mind. It wasn't just that which it was something that was created from a thought, a disease thought, and as it moves through the aura and all the different levels of the field, at one point ending, it becomes physical. So I have to be grateful to all those who've worked with me for what I've understood and have learned. But healing is the ability of it to work is through your work of owning your own light, growing your light, and believing that everything is truth, can't die. That love is so powerful. There's everlasting life. We're told it, but when you start to study and see it all, to really understand it, it's a huge freedom in knowing, oh, well, let me go in the aura and find where that is. And a lot of times it's all the way down to the physical because they're feeling something. So does that mean it's too late? No, it doesn't mean it's too late. But I have had people who've had, God bless them, cancer. And when I go to say, well, we need to look at some of your inner children, oh, they didn't want to do anything like that. So just think about that. There are people, because number one, willing is participation. If they're not willing, there's nothing that I and the light that moves through me can do. So you want yourself to become willing, willing to let go, willing to see what it is. There's nothing so bad that people can tell me that I just don't love them more, because there's a part that comes into action and being willing to be humble. And wow, I didn't know that was there. And then the light starts coming and embracing, and the depth of love really embraces you. So, yes, I do go off, I know. But I hope it's purposeful for all of you as we're on this journey at the same time. And my journey's been very profound. Never looked for it, didn't expect it. But as I walked and participated into the level I was each moment, it just kept growing and became what it is today. So I've lived it. I've had the trauma, the hysteria. When I was studying in Thailand with my teacher, I was the one who was always crying and upset, and I can't do it, and I don't know. He would always say to me, you must be the Trodicum of the group. I didn't know what that meant. It didn't really matter. He wasn't listening to me. And in the end, he said, Trodicum is the one who becomes enlightened first. And in the people I know, it is true. So don't be upset if you're crying and weeping and blah, 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 blah. I know, I've been there. But in the end, the clarity, it's all that is letting go, allowing change to come. And in the song that we sing for the Bija, the ceremony, you sing to the first 10 masters whom God gave sound to, and Trodicum is one of them. So it became quite an interesting experience between him and I, and he always knew, so he says. Just like I sometimes always knew, right? It's a powerful, powerful experience. Let's see what's coming here. Hello, Kay Scarborough. Hello, Andrea. Beautiful words and thoughts. You're going off is exactly what I needed to hear this morning. Oh, am I going off? No? Oh, am I going off and talking about anything? Yeah, I've had moments when I get mad at God, but they don't last long because immediately I know he just comes and embraces me. What does that come from? Years and years of really believing. I can remember when I was young, my brother and I, he always took me to church, and it came that I had to get to church. And when I kneeled up front, I was in a Methodist church, I would just shake and tears would just flow, and I never understood why. I did notice everyone else didn't do it, but I didn't understand at that point. And then I started thinking, well, what if I get on my knees when I do my prayers at night? I have to be completely honest with you. Anytime I've taken a prayer to the end of the bed on my knees, it has come true for me. Can't get on my knees now. And so I was just starting to think about that the other day. I'm going to have to see what I can figure out to be able to make that work. Because it was just so powerful, the surrendered action. I had a friend on my journey, and she did the 100 vows a day. I forget how long you had to do it, a month or 2 months or something. And just like we're here talking about changing your life, remaking your life, she was totally different. That action of that humility and service. So there's a lot of options for you. There's what is being on your spiritual path? Where are you going? What do you desire? It's like, who do you want to be is a wide open thing when you understand how to let go of the past. Letting go of the past is easy. I have the greatest job there is in the world. I get to help people let go, and I understand how, and it just happens. It's not work. God brings it to me. And that's when you then become of service and a vessel for his light. And I couldn't encourage anyone to do that more than anything. It's wondrous. I don't know anything, and then here this comes and this magic happens. But it's about a dedication on the path. Not that someone would meet me on the street and think I was this real religious person, because it isn't about religion. Don't even really know I'm spiritual. Oh, hi, pretty lady. I just get regular people that are drawn to me. So here you are in this physical body, and the spirit is trying to get itself down into you. And so surrendering and opening is trying to say, oh, let me have a breath. Let me have a breath. Andrea said she's had times being angry at God. And Theophilus would always say, oh, you don't mean that. Oh, yes, I do. For a minute, at least let me have it. And then I realized it's now between God and I. He brings this silver light down, and I just become neutral. And I know, however terrible it can be, that it'll be fine. My grandson is the joy of my life. And he has this long, beautiful blonde hair, and now he's got light all around his head. He's such an angel, but they all don't know it. I try to remind them. But a lot of you don't know it. A lot of people in the world don't know it, and that's why I'm here. God asked me to come here to talk to all of you. So there are some of you coming. God bless you all. Because we need the hearts to awaken in the straits that our earth is right now. So here I am going off on another subject. But yeah, God can be real in other people. Can be real on TV. There are so many times, because I watch a certain show, and it is my release about the real world. I'll be honest. It's if I don't have it, the stress will build up. And I'm not so sure I can explain that why, but whether it's the love, the people, the horses, I don't know. I used to work with horses, and I love horses. I had horses on the farm. I had horses, ponies. We rode. We had carts. I had a great childhood. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, you need to not let stress eat you up. You need to find a way through meditation, through that place of silence down within you. And let it be, love is about being your best friend, the love of yourself. And if you can't find how to be the best friend to yourself, then you have some work to do. And that's okay. It's okay to have work to do. It's what the whole process of the journey is about. So, Mother and Father love you so much that if you could only see the light, they come. And the angels, they come every week for all of you. And they're so uniquely bringing different things now. It's so powerful. I'm in awe of what's coming for people and how they speak and what they want. I myself have never seen anything like it. So, any questions from anybody? I'm hoping that we have helped you choose a desire of remaking your life. Life is being able to accept all that God and Mother wish to bestow upon you. And where you're not able to do that is where healing lies. The energy that comes around you is God's money. It's the house. It's the car. So if you're stopping your energy and holding it in a strangulation hold, God's not reaching you. Not because he doesn't want to, but because you're not letting him in. Right? So this is a great affirmation, decree, whatever you want to call it. I am open and willing to receive all that Mother, Father, God wished to bestow upon me. And words are written. He wants to give you everything. What is necessary is to be on the path and working diligently on releasing what's stopping it. So Andrea also says, I'm finding creativity is also a source to the source, and you're right. It's a way of being the vessel. Now tell me, Andrea, doesn't that feel wonderful when you create? And GGB saying that I am a blessing to her, and you are a blessing to me. Thank you. Barbara Ward, all our life is school, but our current circumstances seem to be providing us with a greater opportunity to apply all that we have been learning spiritually. Absolutely, there are no mistakes. Because it takes one cell that makes two cells, that takes 4 cells. And it's true with us, as we are the experience of God. And we grow, and we need one thought. You know, the Maharishi tried having people meditate all at the same time, changing that thought. It didn't work because there wasn't enough people. You know, just like they're having to try and find herd immunity. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad or whatever, but you need a lot of people. Right now, God's asking for everyone to open their hearts and to wake up. Let me show you that waking up. Become awakened. See beyond what the illusion of reality and the illusion is showing you, and trust reality. You know, this is real. I can touch it. We opened my bowls when the girls were here to play them, and I'm getting ready to play one. They're going, there's a hole in that. I go, well, what? And one of my bowls had a hole in it. It was broken. So normally I would react. I did a little bit. But right away I knew that the Deva holding the energy of that bowl, because there were 4 of them that all sang together, she must have had trouble holding that energy and gave it up, and the bowl broke. So there are devas in all these things. Work or don't work. They don't work because the deva is no longer choosing to hold that for whatever reason. So now we have to see if we can get the bowl corrected. But if not, I have to let it go. There's a purpose in it, may not understand it. Thank you, Carol. Art, cooking, growing plants. You know, there's a lot of people doing all those things, like Rita here. What a fantastic person for me to meet and spend time with, as well as Yvonne and all the ones who came. I wish I could have had you all to my house. Don't come because it's not too big. But we figured it out. It was great. It was great for me and Theophilus, and I'm understanding that it's apparently been great for them. Oh, yeah, I had a few points I wanted to make. Let me see. I kind of went off. So when I say the word reality, I'm speaking about your inner truth. You know? And I know there was a time, my inner truth, what is that? Do you know that your inner truth can actually change every day? So whatever you might have woke up this morning believing, maybe my talk, maybe will have your truth be different for you today. Will have your action and your consciousness shift a little bit today. May have you reach out to someone you normally wouldn't have and said, hello, how are you doing? And radiate some light to them. When we go, they have people who are hungry here, and they're along the road. And what we know is the best thing for us to do for them is to bless them with our light. Excuse me, and know that they're more than they think they are. And that's what we have to do instead of empowering what we see in the illusion and act on that which is beyond that in our perception. All right, so I'm going to make a shift here into what we're going to do. I hope it excites me, and I want you to write and tell me, or else we won't do it. It's all about all of us together in union working forward to illuminate our experience of yourself and God in the world. So, I remember I did speak about the soul, and there was a point in time when I just had to know what it was. I looked for books about it, and everybody kind of hem-hawed around it. Now, today, and now I do know what the soul is. But I'm going to guess maybe a lot of you don't really. So I thought, trusting that change will be for my higher good and for the highest good of all. And you got to learn to just know that's so. If it's uncomfortable where you are, forward, releasing some of that which is holding you as a prisoner is going to set you free and allow you to feel, experience, and have a heart feeling of more. Okay, Barbara? So we're going to do a soul mastery class. And this is our end, where you can let your light shine. Yeah. And everyone who comes to this class is going to receive a language of light soul song that you will have to play, perhaps even learn to sing, and to have all this iridescent experience in your being. So I'm going away on vacation to Sanibel next week. And I've already been shown I'm going to sit by the water, and a lot of what this will be will come to me. But I think, I believe we've learned a lot of core things. So now we're going to go to the next level. The body and mind and the soul. And then we get the soul, then we move into the higher superconsciousness. So we're going to work with the soul for a while. Thank you, Silver, for the question. I don't know if I told all of you, but my book is being rebranded, and it should be out by November. I will certainly let you know. And there's a lot of exciting things. I didn't look for that either. I wrote my book 3 years ago, and now someone actually had like 4 different publishers wanted to all of a sudden publish it. So God knows what's in store for you. That's what you have to believe. I am a living experience of that. Give it up. Just live life and be happy. Keep walking forward. So we're going to learn about the soul and begin to master it. If that feels comfortable to you, you've become too well of a master of your ego, is what's the truth, for those of you who still have that connection. So Andrew says, I was privileged to see the soul leave the body of my best friend in her hospice care as she transitioned. And I understand. That is a wonderful experience. When we went to Thailand, there's too many temples, I could not give you its name. But they had this great monk that they could not stop talking about. And they knew that he was on his last bed, and they made a image of him as if he was sitting in front of them. It was just like he was really there. So when he did pass, they did take pictures, and you could see this rainbow coming over and come down into the image they made. So he's alive, they believe. I mean, you can see it in this encasement that they've made for his soul to live in. So go ahead, sit in front of him. It was amazing. See, this is how we developed our faith. You sit there and you could just see his eyes looking at you, talking to you. He was inside this. What was it made of, Theophilus? Do you remember?
Wax.
Wax? It's a wax beam. So one of many things that occurred for us that how can you not believe that there's a God when those kind of things happen? We could see him speaking to us. Well, thank you for the happy birthday. And yes to soul mastery. Excellent. So somehow, if you're very serious and dedicated on your path, God's going to bring you those things that are profound and masterful. I know we had one miracle when the girls were here. Who's to say what's going to happen in all your life? And no, I'm not going to share it because it's special. So, yes, we're going to work on the soul. Whoever comes, as we work through it, it's about a lot of light language. If you remember, the light language is how the soul communicates, whether it's souls on earth, souls in the beyond, animals, everything has a soul. So our communication and ability to understand and to move even further forward is going to expand. So, remake your life. Please don't leave it behind. There are magical tools in there. And it's just like this technique. I can never tell what I'm doing when I'm on this video looking at myself. Just keep doing it. I do have one special gift I'm giving everyone today. I've been working on a new modality of clearing the matrix to help people move forward. So I'm going to give you a technique you can use on yourself every day, once a day. And you're going to feel the clearing just as we do it today. So I want you to imagine and this is going to clear your pineal, your hypothalamus, and your pituitary. And let's see how you feel when I show you what to do. How's that? So you're going to use your right hand, activate your light, whatever you use, 14th ray, crystal clear from God. And I want you to assume that you're cleaning out the inside of a bowl. It's above your head, not on it. Some of you may find this very thick. It can become bristly. See, I can feel it. My eyes just want to open. This is your pineal. Clear, clear, clear. And you can say that, clear, clear, clear. See, my light just expanded. What's happening to you? Can anyone tell me? Well, I know it's working. So now you go to your left side. So this is my actual left side, and I go from the front, back, and down. And we want to open this up. This is going deep inside where the pituitary is kissed like it's a flower and it's kissed by the pineal gland to awaken it. Yeah, see how that feels. Mm-hmm. I'm sure your head's tingling or doing something. Now, left side. We're going to put the thumb on your temple and 2 fingers in the middle of your forehead for hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is in charge of your whole being, physically. So we're going to give it the 14th ray light and just let that hold for a minute. However long you feel. You can see I got a lot of blood rushing with that. Very key, important points for what we're talking about, for have it working with you. And if you feel this, because you can really get to where you're like cleaning the inside of a bowl and you might feel that there's something in it, don't give up on it. You want it clean. I would do it every day. Yeah, it can happen overnight that it gets blocked. Okay, does anyone have a comment to me how that felt? 15 are still with me. Mm. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you do it. I hope you feel better. I hope you enjoyed this class that was kind of just what was coming. Oh, here we go. Rita. All of a sudden, I felt clearer and cloudiness lifted. That's exactly right. A lot of people have been having a lot of brain fog. This is going to take care of that. Thank you, Rita, for sharing. Marby, love all your little doodads here. Oh, my. I remember back to when I started this YouTube, I just didn't really know what to say. Now I can't shut up. Isn't that funny? That's definitely a change. Oh, yeah. Okay, anybody else before I go? And to go back to you, Barbara, this will be a change that will be for your better good. Yvonne saying, clear and crisper, absolutely. Let me get this one here. Barbara Ward, very tingly at top of head for the hypothalamus, one of my head. Just started bowing lower. Not sure what that meant. I don't know. Carmen says she loved this class. Thank you. Hypothalamus has a lot of work, and if it's been brought into a lot of I don't know what to do with it, see how this lightens it up. And Barbara, you can let me know. Okay. All right. Many blessings to you. So I will not be doing Monday night or Tuesday. I will be home Friday for those of you who are in the meditation group. And you will see. Thank you, Yvonne. Love you. Love all of you. So I will see you again. Ascension class. What's the date of that weekend? Let me see. On the 5th. No, it's already past the 5th. We don't want to walk backwards, do we? I'm not doing it this weekend. Oh, yes, I am. She doesn't come till 2, right? So that's the 12th, and then we'll do it. I'll be here for the 19th. And then probably I'll tell you more about the class and what's happening. We will continue to do the angel messages unless someone tells me they just are tired of doing it. But there's so much happening for you as those things come. I didn't get to ask you, Rita, how'd you like your lion? Let's see if she'll respond. Do you remember the first thing that came was this beautiful lion with a huge mane? Thank you so much for this class and all the love and light you share. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and bringing your light. Barbara Ward, deep gratitude. TheoSophia, hugs to all. Well, thank you very much. Rita, you can text me how you thought you liked your lion. And I'm going to be very happy to see my daughter. I was thinking today it's almost been 3 years with all that this has been going on. Uh-oh, I let it out. She hadn't gotten to look at it yet. You might like it. All right. And many blessings. I ask for good weather everywhere, for the fires to stop, for the winds to be gentle, for the water to calm, and for the tide to be gentle also. I will enjoy my time with my daughter. Theophilus is coming, and she's bringing puzzles, so we're planning on just sitting, and she looks just like me, but she has dark hair from her dad, so it'll be like looking in a mirror. And we laugh the same. So we'll see what's going to be like. I feel it is a gift from God because she's just so busy. And I thank you all for being here. And it's time for me to stop talking. 1 hour and 1 minute. Many blessings. Know that you live all in my heart. Many blessings. Thank you.